baddest DJ this side of town. Mixing the heat.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, shoot.
The baddest DJ this side of town. Mixing the heat.
Ladies and gentlemen.
DJ Disspare.
Hey. I'm up in the building. And I like making little mistakes here and there. So I want to give a big applause to XIT-ONLY. Forest Horseman in the building. How you doing?
One of the four.
One of the four. So how you doing?
I'm good, my brother. I can't complain, man. Life living, breathing, so nothing to complain about.
Of course, when you got an L in your hand, you can't smoke, you can't lie, you can't hide. You got to be happy.
Okay. I really believe the world will function better if everybody was to do that. If I was president, it would be law.
See, this is where I want to start the interview off different with you, because you notice the background and I notice you're part of the culture, and I just want to be straight up on it. Like, salute you. Like, cheers. Let's do this. So where do you hail from?
Where do I come from?
Yeah.
All right. Originally, my background roots go all the way back to Chicago. But I grew up here in Mississippi, small little country town called Utica, which we call the Flatlands. A lot of things go down in the Flatlands. So,
trust me.
For real. So, came up there, man, got into hip hop, wanted to redirect my life. I was spending too much time, running the streets, doing street activities with street niggas. I wanted to make a change. So I ran into a lady who told me, if you want it, you believe in it, you can make it happen. Started asking questions about this music. I was told that I was pretty good at it. And the rest is history, man. I went to the city. They adopted me as one of their own, you know what I'm saying? And been doing it since then, like for years. Been on mixtapes from all around the world, from Who Kid to DJ Pizzal, when they was doing the mixtape circuit. Then opened up for artists that everybody know of, 8-Ball, MJG, Scarface, Outkast. I'm no stranger to this game. I just been under the radar, which is not really a bad thing.
Not at all. You see, when it comes down to this game, being under the radar actually is better for you.
Facts. I was telling somebody the other day, I was in an interview and I was like, my grind is different. Most people be hustling to be seen. I'm grinding to disappear. I just really want to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be a voice than a face.
See, that's what I like about you, because that right there is how I live life. And I try to explain that to a lot of people. Like, as famous as most people are, they ain't happy.
No, you can't be. You can't be happy when you don't have no privacy moment to yourself and everybody is more interested in your life than... See, people use other things to focus on, to not focus on them. So if you got somebody all up in your life and they ain't spending no time worried about theirs, you ain't gonna have no peace. Because everybody search for every little flaw to actually make you. And everybody got flaws. There's nobody perfect.
Yep. And that's
I keep my flaws on Front Street. Yes, I smoke. Yes, I cuss. Yes, I'm halfway violent. Yes, I have gang ties. Yes, my family is very huge and very extremely violent. I keep everything on Front Street.
And I like that 100, because a lot of the people in the game, like, they front, they hide it, right? Like, it's like, and a lot of people keep their shit so secretly, but when it does come out, it blows up in their face.
Exactly. Now I'm an open book. Even when I was coming up through high school and college, I never even heard nothing from my mom. What it is just what it is. Who I am is who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe in hiding anything, because if you got everything laid out, what the fuck can they say?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? What can you use against me when everybody already know this? You can go to my job and tell my boss I smoke weed. He knows that already. So what? What can you do?
So you're the type of person to walk in the room and be like, look, I smoke weed. I'm going to be in that corner. Just leave me be. And then when it's time for me to perform, just holler at me.
I keeps to myself because, like I say, this actually, it keeps me in a zone to where I don't worry about nothing around me. I really just stay within my perimeter. You know what I'm saying? And when it's time to do what I do, I just zone out and do what I do. That's it. That's even with work. It affects people differently.
Yeah.
If I smoke, I can't sit still. I'm either writing, I'm either reading, I'm doing something constructive. So imagine me at the job and I'm lit. I'm working. I'm talking about I'm like 8-hour worth of work, 14-hour worth of work in 8 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not getting it. I mean, literally, because I'm there to keep moving. Because I know how to keep my mind moving just as well as keep my hand moving. I can do one thing and be mentally contemplating on the next level after the fact.
Well, because like when it comes down to smoking weed, if you're a connoisseur, and as we spoke earlier, you do it for pain and to keep yourself in content with life. Because as long as I've been smoking weed and everything, I can't even deal with people. Like if I go into a room, I got to be like lit. I got to be blazed. I got to be calm because I see things in the situation differently than most people do. And like when you smoke and stuff, like you go to like when you're in a situation, you sit back, you smoke a joint, and then you figure it out. It comes to you because you're calm.
Facts. Honestly, most people have a vice. Most people do. Whether it's popping pills, a shot of alcohol, a nightcap, most people got a device. I just feel like personally, whatever you can control and don't control you, do that shit. Because the world is something to cope with. It really is. You deal with different personalities, you deal with mood swings, you deal with fucking agenda switches. You can go to work and it be on this, and the next day it can be somewhere else. You know, so it's like you go through so much daily. You need something to actually help keep you at peace, so you can get up and repeat the same shit the next day.
Well,
So
especially with this world.
okay, so everybody do something. It's just this world is so hypocritical. They rather talk bad about what we do, but don't want to say shit about what they do.
Mm-hmm. I got to give a big one on that
Thank you. Thank you very much.
one. So, being a weed connoisseur, you indulge in the culture. I see you rep a lot of like clothing and stuff from different, companies and stuff. And you plan on coming out with your own brand of weed?
Yes, I would love to. 100%. I know exactly what effect I wanted to do because I know what effect I'd be searching for. Never know. That might just actually come up. I'm literally into everything, open for all kind of different ideas and ventures. I'm about prospering, moving forward, growth, and establishing. So there's no telling. If I get the opportunity to come up with my own strain, I'm in it.
I should get you hooked up with this app I'm working with some friends of mine called Kush Lounge. You will love that. It's all about weed. It's a whole world dedicated to weed. It's like we took away from the nonsense of Instagram and Facebook and everything and just gave people a world just to smoke and do what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Well, we attached through Instagram, so go to my message and shoot me a link, man. Connect.
I will. But other than that, in life, I see a lot of people who do music and, it's like they got to be on all other types of substance, but listening to your music, I'm a weed head and I'm a music head. So I sat here the other day just vibing out, smoking, and I was just like, yo, like the one song Bad Company just made me think. Like I had to cut some people after I heard that song.
Literally, we're not the same. You're a bad company. I keep bad company every day. Every day you're around people who are really not all the way like you. You know what I'm saying? So that's really bad company. Those people can be good in some occasions, and in some occasions they can get very dangerous. People get jealous of people too much for nothing now. People get mad at you just because you're trying to take care of your family and move forward. Right. It used to be a time period where people used to be proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you ain't kicking indoors no more. I'm glad you're not jacking people no more. I'm glad you're doing something constructive. But now it's more like, I really wish you were still kicking indoors. Something that could take you away from your family and off these streets they want you into. But if you're doing anything to move forward, you really put a target on your back, especially here.
I was telling that to somebody the other day. What's some people sit there and they give the meaning, I want to be famous. I want to get this music thing to pop. I want all this money. I want to do all this stuff. And I'm sitting there going, it doesn't work like that. No. It don't work like that at all.
And honestly, those are not even realistic goals. Me and my mentor was talking the other day, and I thanked him for actually letting me know early that in pursuit of this music, there's no destination. See, people have in their mind that there's a destination, like, I'm going to get here and I'm going to blow up. Every destination leads to another journey.
Right.
So once you think you done got to this point, that point going to lead to something else. Well, I done got a deal. Now you got to deal with recoupment. You got to deal with your money shortage. You got to deal with this crazy scheduling. It's another journey. You never get to the point to where you can actually sit there and say, I'd have made it. And that's what they don't get. They really don't understand the whole concept of this cycle, because it's a circle. I mean, it's a cycle. You got to keep this thing going to keep this thing going. I've been in this game for a minute and stayed relevant this whole time. And a lot of people can't figure out how you do it. How do you do it? Every year, I evolve. Every year, I get better than I was the year before. You know what I'm saying? I go back at the end of the year, before the next year flip over, and I listen to everything that I've done. And I'm like, I'm finna top all of that. I'll sit there and work on different patterns to change certain things. It's about growth. Life is about growth. You know what I'm saying? If you don't evolve, you die. This is why a lot of people can't get their careers off the road, their life, their marriage, nothing, because they don't know how to evolve. They stuck on what they think they are.
Oh, I want you as my mentor. You see? For real, I talk like that every day, and I'm doing this to people, and I'm telling them, and one of mine is on the line right now, DTS, salute. Like, we're going to be playing your track up in Toronto this week on the Master Plan radio show. But I say, you see, that's why we love good music. And, I got to get into this. I really got to play this. I've been sitting on gems, and I've been, siphoning through a lot of music in this game. And, when I get hit with music like this, I got to give a salute on a big, heavy level, because there's not too many people putting proper words to music.
Nah, I love words. Literally.
It's about to go down. This is a DJ Disspare exclusive.
Regard the hand that grazed these papers that bear these words. XIT-ONLY. You know what is so important about words? The spaces in between. Now they say seeing is believing. Let's believe it when you see it. Listen up when you hear it. The heartbeat of the spirit. The nature of existence. Live it. Greatness in your presence. My track record reflects your playlist, and yet I still can bear witness. Been relevant and consistent throughout the years with no repentance. Truly kept it real in every sense of the sentence. My wordplay ridiculous, literally sick with this English. When I fashion bars to bracket the stitches, make them seem fitted. Get it, quit it. My last round, the showdown before I kill this shit. Y'all lack common sense, only make sense out of nonsense. Since I'm convinced of this, then this is what it is. In the beginning was the word, and I'm the word for what it is. I'm not a gangster rapper, I'm just a gangster rapper. Remember them days up in the trap when they was flipping batches. I was freestyling over tracks, flipping words, spatula. Nowadays I'm tired, don't take feet to run this. Single tune, out of tune, use auto tune, you won't miss. Now miss me with that bullshit, I use that shit as a footrest. One of the best at it who never claimed to be the best at that. Too sick for the patience, I would like to thank y'all for the waiting. Get it. But it's here now, I'm so here now. Lend me an ear now, can you hear me now? But it's here now, I'm so here now. Lend me an ear now, can you hear me now? You in the presence of bad company, immortal words. Yeah.
Me say that you are here now. Immortal word in all the street, it a tear now. No carbon nothing now. Bring you a that you been here now. Me say this you are here now. We're here now. We're here now.
I don't even know what to say.
Hey, man. I'm going to say I was feeling some type of way at the time.
But you gotta look at this. From being as old school as you are, a legend in the game, I wouldn't even picture this was you if I didn't know you.
Facts. I get that. I
Because
really get that.
a lot of legends and people in the game, unless they have a certain type of voice or a certain type of presence that you remember every single time you hear them, like, you know, there's a distinct version of them, like when you hear Sean Price, when you're hearing Rook, when you're hearing Boozy, when you're hearing certain people. But then coming from, like, what I've heard from you, you've grown so much into your lyrical style that you've evolved so much that you have the old school, but you have the new flow.
I love words. That's simple as I can put it. I'm different. When people look at words, they just see words. I look at words and I can see 3 or 4 words in a word. I can see sentences. I don't look at things like other people look at things. I think I come up with a set of MCs that we used to actually read thesauruses and dictionaries like you read a novel.
Right.
We studied words. We studied the ins and outs of words, and the English language is just so fun to play with. Like, I mean, it's like I have fun doing it. I really do. And I try to actually put words in a way to make people, my objective is just to get people to think. That's it. I want you to sit there and be like, hold up, did I hear what I thought I heard? I just want them to think.
And with that, you could tell in your lyrics and your, like, the way you spit and you pronounce things, even though I'm having a conversation with you, a lot of people don't have an open mind to other things, like, you know, to speak on or even to learn other things or even to learn, period. Like, if it's not on social media, I don't know about it. That's just how the world goes these days.
And
so
that's people limited in themselves. You know, I used to believe that the sky was the limit until I realized if you shoot from the stars, you might land on Mars. We limit ourselves. We got to stop limiting ourselves. People put themselves in a box when they actually come out with something that's catchy and people stick to it and be like, well, now that's all I want to hear.
Right.
No, I don't want to hear nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Chameleon Cooper. I remember when he dropped Riding Dirty. That's all he wanted to hear was Riding Dirty. You know, like, okay, if I came up with that, don't you think I could come up with something else?
Right.
So you can't put yourself in a box. I'd have been told I sound different on the same song. They'll be like, now who on that verse? That's me too. You know what I'm saying? For real. But I hear music differently too. I'm fucked up, but it comes off such a creative way that people look at it as a grand attribute. But literally all this shit got to be a defect. Other people are not like this. You know what I'm saying? When I hear music, I hear different sounds in sound. So when I'm writing, I will write to one particular sound and wave. And then I come back and I take another one and I write to that. So that makes the shit sound different, but I'm just writing the different shit I hear in the track.
You see, that's what I like about it, because you're actually visualizing the track. And
Well, music will tell you what to do to it if you know how to listen to it.
Facts. And that's why I was like, that's why I try to explain to people, like when I do mixes, I'll sit there 1 hour, bang out a mix. I'll do 2 hour mixes. Like it's nothing, but I visualize the whole thing straight through. Then I go back and add my drops and all that stuff later because technology made it easier for me. But back in the days, like I remember sitting there doing everything at once.
Man, I came up around DJs, y'all are. Everybody talk about what we do with words. Y'all are flat out amazing. And let me tell you why. Y'all literally DJ parties, take in requests through this ear, cue the record up with this ear, tell them, yeah, drink a drink, let go, and know exactly what you're going to play after that. Because the music has to have a certain blend. I don't watch DJs take it. I'll be like, that don't go with that. Just wait. Hit a little button, speed it up a little bit, catch that rhythm in there. Don't you and they go, I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, fucking it's mesmerizing to me. But like I say, I love the culture. So, and that's all 4 elements. That's graffiti, that's the dance, that's the DJ, and then the MC. I love the culture. I mean, and every last one of them is amazing. I got some partners who are actual street writers, you know what I'm saying, up in New York. And the shit that they do, I'm an artist, you know what I'm saying? I do drawing shit. This bare face on my shirt, my boy printed up the shirt, keep it sticky brand, but I drew the bear head. I drew it.
Nice.
So I do artwork, but the shit they do to me is just
phenomenal,
mind blowing, like, literally. So to be able to take a can of paint and make a, you know how hard this shit is to do with a pen. You know, I have to go back and.
Just say I used to do it back in the days until I busted one of my fingers, and then like it's not the same anymore. But yeah, man, when I see my homeboys do it, I get upset, jealous. But my son's telling me he wants to get into it, so I like that now.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's literally great.
I'm even happy now the way people are doing things with shoes. Like back in the days, I used to have to go like pay a homie to go do these things and find like these market and it was rare to find the paint and stuff. Now you can just go online, order it.
Crazy shit back in the days. I was the homie doing this shit. I used to go, my grandmother used to make these flower arrangements and things. So she hooked me up with pads and frame and the puff paint and all this particular shit. The shit that they spending money for that's crazy now. Yeah. I used to do this shit. For fun. You know what I'm saying? Do this shit. Some of them I did for free, but I wouldn't charge them much. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring me $25 and bring me a pair of white Nikes. I got you. Draw out what you want. I'll hook you up.
Now I can charge a motherfucking $5.
I know that. You know what I'm saying? I know that now. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you ask me about clothing and all this, I got some ideas, but that shit gonna come later on. Go ahead.
Let me guess. You came from that era of the airbrushing, like the, putting your own stuff on your jeans, doing all these different things. Like, and now when you really look at that and how the world is now, it's like, when I used to wear an outlandish sweater, like a big red sweater, and go to a party, and people used to get mad at you for wearing the matching hat, the matching shoes, and everything to it. Now it's like mandatory.
To the draws, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Like, draws, I used to get clowned a lot for doing that. And then now it's like, I see my kids doing it and everything. I'm just like, you remember y'all used to bug me? It's just like...
Living proof of what I said. Life goes in a circle. It's a cycle that we go through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at one point, me being so lyrical was obsolete, but now I got people want to listen to what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, you really can't call it because life goes in a circle. Whatever came out, it might change form a little bit, but the basic concept behind it is still gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I sit there and watch it with the names on the jacket and all this shit, the fucking shoes that glow. I'm like, shit, that shit is old.
Yep. That shit is so old. Because I remember like when you used to get those jackets with all the basketball teams on it and everything, and everyone was like, and then like later on it was like, yo, that's washed out. Now it's like 50 Cent, all these people got all these TV shows and stuff, bringing all that back, and everyone's just like, I want that again. And just like,
yeah, that's nostalgia.
I just got to go in my closet. Like, it's just
For real. I'm waiting for them to bust out another troop jacket. You know what I'm saying? For real. They used to be the shit back in the day. And they gonna bring it back because everything that goes out comes back. I don't watch.
Facts. Oh, even Cross Colors came back. Like that was the biggest, brightest clothing you could ever get.
Man, what if that did not say you was Afrocentric, nothing did. It's like that was just a huge color statement. There was no jewelry. They was wearing the medallions. I mean, it was but like I say, I watched life evolve, man. I watched the wild dancing that, you know, my folks them thought breakdancing was the craziest shit in the world. So I can imagine what they think about this shit they see nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, but it's the same thing. It just evolves.
Like I said, I was showing somebody this the other day. Now, I could take a record now and do this. This thing is the needle now. And a lot of people don't know that, I pictured these things when I was younger. And then once I got it, I was just like the happiest person in the world because I'm like, yeah, I wanted this ever since I was like DJ. Like everything that's in front of us now, the fact that the whole mixer's got the sampler, everything inside of it. You don't understand what you did for a DJ these days. Like you made our dreams come true. Like that's just a portable studio in one. Like you know what I mean? Like
modern technology, brother. It made everything easier. I remember it was difficult to go out and get your music heard to people across the globe. I got music in Japan, in Germany, London. You know, that shit used to be like, that's where the labels held power at. Be like, you're not going to reach these areas unless you come to me. But now we done made a way up across the well. So it's like shit.
You see, that's the thing I noticed about the industry. A lot of guys got put into the position where they got label deals. And a lot of rappers now are getting their masters back. And a lot of people are now finally getting like access to their music, and some still tied into contracts till 2024, like Flavor Flav and certain people. Like, how, like in your career, like how did you like pass that? Like, how did you like not get yourself caught into that situation?
I done had several deals offered to me, several. I literally tell people this, but they don't get it. I'm independent by choice. See, a lot of people claim independent. I'm an independent artist, but you really ain't got no choice. You see what I'm saying? If a major came to you and threw a bullshit deal on the table, you would jump for it.
Oh, facts.
I actually had some great people around me. Brother Charlie Braxton, who's my mentor. He's a writer for every hip hop magazine from Rap Pages to The Source. Yeah. Brother Alfonso Mayfield. I had great people in my corner. They used to actually, they wouldn't tell me what to do, but they'll tell me enough to make me think. So I thought on a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? Every movie I'd have seen about an artist, it always ends with them on drugs committing suicide. I really didn't want that with my life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to get caught up in the glamour shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put it out there. Everybody R. Kelly about what he did, but ain't nobody paying attention to. The label helped make that shit happen to keep him at bay so he could write these goddamn songs. So come on now, they just as wrong as he is.
Everybody is who was around that.
Exactly. That helped keep that going for the music. See, I wasn't going to get caught up in them cycles of life, you know what I'm saying, where they feed you drugs just to go in there and record shit. Now you're an addict. Nah, right. I didn't want that. And then I wanted the freedom to actually do what I want to. Shit, music is expression. This shit come from the soul. I'm not finna sell you my soul. Mm-hmm. You know, I give you a piece of me for a small fee, but I'm not finna sell you my soul.
That's what I learned a lot about this game is that, like, I was telling guys this, like, when I first got into this, I refused to sign deals. Like, I had a few managers that did some sly shit, and just those managers alone doing the sly shit just made me not like nothing. And there was a point where I was rapping and I just said, you know what? I'm going to stop and I'm just going to stick to DJing because it was safe.
The beauty about growth Back during that time, I actually would have probably met my demise if I would have. But the beauty about growth, and me and my brothers, the Horsemen, we talk about this all the time. If they come to the table with the proper deal, where we still got our complete creative control, we might be able to negotiate something. Right. But see, when we was coming up, they really wanted you dumb. They want them dumb now. You know, when you start talking, you know, I got my own publishing and, you know, all of these different things that you really don't need to be knowing nothing about. But they really don't want you to have none of that. Right. This is how people are just getting their masters back. We can do what we want to with our music because shit, we own our music. That's what makes it great.
That's amazing because a lot of people don't even think like that now. It's like, and I know a lot of people did, and that's the whole thing that people have been missing out on talking to is why a lot of you guys did not do the big fame like everybody else did. Because a lot of the rappers I know, they kept their masters, they kept their things. A lot of them had bad deals and they had to turn around and go get jobs. Yeah. Like, you know, and some people just choose to have jobs to build their business and to keep their stuff going. And, you know, the music is just like, you know, the music is the music. They get a chance to go do a show, they go do a show. If they book a tour, they got time to do that. But their life is intact for them to do that. You know what I mean? A lot of people's lives are not like that.
No. When you actually sign a deal, you're literally working to get somebody else rich. That's really the bottom line. They ain't gonna even sign you unless they know that you are profitable. Now, if you're profitable, they'll make a deal with you. But a lot of people don't even understand how deals go. I was talking to these cats. They were negotiating the deal. And they were screaming advancements. And I was like, really understand advancements mean recoupment. Like I said, I had great people around me that taught me a lot of shit that most artists don't know, but they need to. They need to learn these valuable points. Advancements mean recoupment. Whatever they give you, they get back before you get anything. Facts. Which means that if they're taking care of your videos, your studio time, they gave you so many millions up front, you got to pay them back when you touch anything. Like literally. So what you want is if you get an advancement, take that advancement to turn it toward at least getting yourself a studio together to where you can actually do as much pre-production as possible. So when you go in, everything laid out. You know, people don't do that. They take their advancement and they go get cars, go get houses, go ball out of control. And when it's all over, they looking sad in the face. I feel when the game actually made this change over to trap, I don't think no true lyricist was happy about this shit. So I wasn't happy about it, but I realized that they got a market, they got an audience, so it's gonna be hard as fuck for them to go anywhere unless their audience stop listening to them. I have seen that happen too. I seen Crunk come in, blow up, and pass on. So I do know that, you know, some things do fade away. But now I really feel sympathy and heart pain for them. I did before because I knew what they was getting into. But now you got artists like Lil Yachty who shit owes fucking jewelry companies. Because when you with the label, just go get it. But you ain't with the label no more. So now it's payback. People really got to understand what they be getting into. And that's the other reason I'm glad I stayed independent. Because it's easy to get caught up in a trap. It's hard to crawl up out of it.
Mm-hmm. That is like that's why I passed up so many deals. That's why I've kept myself content and learned this game. And when I sat down one day with some guys and I said, why don't we have our own platforms? Why don't we have our own network? Why don't we have our own streaming sites? Like, why aren't we having our own shit? Because everyone's spending so much time trying to be part of what's already there. You know what I mean? And that's why I have my own app. I have my app for 12 years. And, you know, now I get to stream this on my app. You know what I mean? And it just, things get to be different and evolve once you go from the first time we were on Zoom, it was just little bubbles with people talking. Remember? And then, and then we went from talk radio from so many different things now to like podcasts being live online and talking to people and interactive. And now we could actually just sit here and work on music together if we wanted to.
Facts, because we do that too.
Right. And a lot of people that don't understand that it's made it easier for you not even to be in the same country and be in the same studio together.
And sound like you're in the same room. Technology is amazing, but like I say, you have to know what tool to use out of the toolbox and how to use it. That's even with social media, because each one of them function differently. I took the time to learn how to make Instagram more effective to me, how to make Twitter more effective, how to get what you can out of these, because they all function different.
Yep.
But once you actually can understand how they function, it's the toolbox. You pull out the proper tool to work the proper problem with. So it's beautiful to me. Some people have problems with it, but that's because they don't want to sit there and learn and they want people to hand them things. Now, if you're a go-getter, go get it.
I'm learning right now a lot of people are just getting exposed for their fakes and fake this and fake that and everything online. And it's getting interesting now because it's like I was telling one of my boys, I was like, I've been doing generic like numbers for years on all my networks, and it's like, why pay somebody to go play around with your accounts and mess your shit up? Like, why go lie to people? Like, it's bad enough that half the jewelry these rappers are wearing a fake. It's bad enough that and if you're gonna do it, man. Because a lot of people don't wear their real shit out, and I can tell you that to a lot of rich guys I know in the game that still don't wear their shit out around people.
No, they don't.
They'll wear something fake, right? And
they have the fugazis. I don't even believe in. Why do that? Why sit there and tell people? Do you know I done ran across a few millionaires, and if you walked up on them in the street, you would never know it.
Yeah.
Basic t-shirt, raggedy jeans, and 3 credit cards in their pocket that can literally buy the whole city you standing in if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't show it. Why mark yourself as a target for being out with even fake jewelry on your neck? I sat there and saw something on Instagram where the cops had this nigga down, arrested him, and this broad and her nigga tried to
steal his neck.
I'm talking about drug that nigga. That nigga slid. I'm talking about yanked hard. Like, shit. Who the fuck want to be in there? First of all, the majority of the people out here struggling. They out here trying to make it without it. So if you dangling a steak in front of a lion, do you think you might lose an arm in that process?
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, that's the thing in this game. Like, I've seen some rappers get robbed for the jewelry and then see the dude go bring it right back to him and say, like, get some real shit. But, it's just like, it's been like that in the game for a long time. And, and then that's why it's like a lot of people look at certain rappers in the game and then you see guys wearing pendant and beaded wooden pendants and all these different things and all this stuff. And they're just like, what's that about? And it's just like, it's you. And if you're advertising your own shit, you're promoting yourself, you're like, yeah, I'll rock a chain, a watch here and there.
Yeah.
And so, like it's that life. Like,
I do it if I want to do it,
right.
But I'm not fit to do it for show. It's like, I want people to accept me for what you see is what you get. I'm real as you come. And I literally mean I'm real as you come. Whatever drama you bring, I can bring that same fucking energy if you ask me for it. I am just like everybody else. I don't want to be out here put up on a pedestal, none of that, period. I'm the type that normally I sit in the VIP room until it's time for me to hit the stage. And after I get through, I mingle a little bit and then I'm gone. I don't really like being to where people can pinpoint my location because I came from another world. So It's like, these are rules to live by from that other world. And they very predominantly effective in this world too.
Well, I tried to explain that. Sorry. I tried to explain that a lot. My bad.
Oh no, you good. A lot of people really don't understand that. It's like, I can actually be in a room and I can tell when everything is gonna go terrible. Reason being, I've been in several rooms before and I know the signs that's gonna show it's gonna go terrible. If I know you and him that had arguments all week and got into a tussle 2 weeks ago, why the fuck y'all in the same spot kicking it, playing pool together, acting like everything's good? It takes one little small second for that situation to explode. And I done seen it. I done seen people lose their lives in those instances. So it's like, I don't play with my life like that. I mean, I got a son. I mean, it was at one point I didn't give a shit, live or die, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now I want to see my son grow. You know what I'm saying? I love to see what my grandkids look like. Yeah. So I'm not putting myself in these particular situations. And if I sense it or feel it, I'm getting away from it. You know what I'm saying? Period. Yeah. I ain't got no time for no drama in my life now, man. It's about elevation and progress.
Facts.
That dumb shit, that's teenage shit.
I was trying to tell that to some guys. They're just like, because like certain people are just like, so why don't you react no more? I'm like, for what?
Yeah, literally.
Like,
for what?
Well, why don't you just go get that dude? I'm like, okay, so I
to
go
go
online.
to jail because he gonna call the cops. It ain't
so
like it used to be.
I go online, I talk shit, right back. Then now there's attention to us having beef. Now, if anything happens to that dude in any time in the president's in the next while, who the first do you think you're going to? You know what I mean? And then that's just how the game goes. Like I try to teach guys that, like, if you ain't never done time, if you've never done criminal activity to the point where you had to look over your shoulders your like majority of your life, and then you not realize that later on down the life you're just like a cop car could drive by and you just cruising, you're just good now. Like back in the day, like anytime a cop was drive by, dudes used to be paranoid. I'm like, you're making them want to come at us, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like even now with the weed, like
if you're not recognized on the block, what you on the block for? See, that's how it
right.
used to be. You know what I'm saying? For real. So I'd have lived that, and it's not comfortable. I mean, I don't know what's this fascination with fucking street life is, because you know what I'm saying, lack of sleep, motherfucker kicking your door at any time of night. Your friends are your enemies because everybody trying to rob you. Everybody trying to get you off the street so they can move up. It ain't shit fun about none of that shit.
And I can't
just fucking say it. Like
every time I watch these shows and I'm sitting here with the dudes and going, you know, that really, like, you know, we had it out, eh? You know, and every single time I'm looking at it going, you know how many times we had it out? And we just said, nah, let's go hit a lick. And then next thing you know, that lick turned into like 3 years, 4 years, 7 years, 10 years.
Like
and then we're just like, what are we still doing? Like, you know, and then like sometimes when I used to sit there and go, what about all that money that we wasted?
Bro, if I knew then what I knew now, and that's literally all I can sit there and say. There is a such thing as, you know what I'm saying, I'm balling for the weekend. That's what we used to do. We used to go out, we hustling for the weekend. We go out there, hustle, make it up. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, throw it right back out. But we know Monday we go back and get it. But it comes a point that all good things come to an end. And with the era of snitching growing, it made everything almost impossible to do. Because the person sitting next to you, you know what I'm saying, is talking to the police. He is literally the police without a badge. You just don't fucking know.
Hey man, you know, you can't do shit now because the first thing people are doing, and I'm going to say this right now, they're running their phones, man. And I want to get into the song Reddit, but for real, people are like, you can't do shit because it will be on camera. It will be live the next morning. So, or within 5 minutes after it happened. So
yeah, facts. Literally, why it's going on live stream.
Facts.
Because people go through looking through windows.
Run it. Yep. Run it.
Get it.
Run it. Hey. Exit. Run it. Hey. Run it.
DJ Disspare is in the damn building.
Lace up your shoes and we run it. We all giving chase for the money. You see them sleepers, they on it. Trying to stack hundreds by morning. Lace up your shoes and we run it. We all giving chase for the money. You see them sleepers, they on it. Trying to stack hundreds by morning. Run it. by things that I'm wanting. It's on in my rental to ownership. Wanted by visions of poverty, pushing me out to go, And it is more than the spurs, spinning the curve, whipping the whip, with the bands flip, shift. It's in the manuscript. See the master still whip his whip. Blood drenched in the sauce you drip. Businessman on that boss, ain't nothing to gain if you ain't lost. Paid the price and it cost a bit. Kept the receipt when time is spent. Every dollar on a dollar. Penny for thought, count every cent. Poker face, so I keep it ace. Cover the trail that the money with. See them haters, they be watching. Scheming, plotting on cruel intent. Never gon' brag about it, cause if I got it, I got it. So ain't no need for the doubting, cause if you bout it, I'm bout it. Running this race with these races I'm running. Trying to get funds up for sun. Jamaica vacation by summer. Total will sum up the numbers. Staying ahead of the haters, they hunters. Wherever we go, they among us. Only come up from under. Clap back like I'm thunder. Cause I do make them wonder, they mind be pondering. Go ahead and add it up. So ask them questions, I'm asking up. I lay in the cut and go hack them up. Too far gone to back it up. So back it down, I can back it up. Collect my payment, go rack it up. Just to see how high I can stack it up. Ain't no more eating to the family food. And I had enough, cause damage to an amateur. With my standards with no parameter. Catch me shot by a camera. I don't mean go bruh. Come to do what I do when I'm so cop the single bruh.
Where can people find your music right now?
Everywhere. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, Diesel, all digital streaming platforms, YouTube, SoundCloud. If music there, put in X-IT space ONLY, and something gonna pop up. That's .pip. That's everywhere.
So I've known you for all different types of styles of music that you've done and everything, but like, what choose this type of pattern right now that you're doing with these beats?
Really, Run It was, I ain't gonna say experimental, but it was almost met as a challenge. It was during that particular time when the music era was, well, people were spitting it different. Somebody actually told me you couldn't do it. I said I could do it and actually say something while doing it, because that's what they wasn't doing. They were spitting it, but they wasn't saying nothing while doing it. Run It is about chasing the bag, but it's also about what you gonna do with that bag when you get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm trying to own some land in Jamaica. Trying to get to Jamaica by summer. I'm on a different grind. I'm not worried about bending the whips. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm not trying to show off. I'm trying to establish for the family. So I just be on my grown man shit, man, because fuck, I'm a grown man. And life is real. And if you do not set a foundation now and get it established, you might not get a chance tomorrow. You know, I'm sitting there looking now, where I'm from, the cat just lost his life today. And I think he was like 15 or 16. They leaving younger, dog. So they got to actually, they got to be taught better to do better. And ain't nobody doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you really look at the whole structure of things now, it's set up for these kids to kill each other. Mm-hmm. It's set up that way. You know what I'm saying? Nobody solving these crimes. Nobody doing nothing. Just let them run rampant. Ain't nobody losing their lives but them. These are our children. So, you know what I'm saying? I try to give something with meaning. I play with different styles because I can. I love this art. I love this sport. I mean, I love it.
And that's what a lot of people are losing and missing out in this game right now is like knowledge of self, because it's killing everybody in this game. Like everyone thinks that I got to get all this money so I can get this clothes, these cars, and all this other stuff. But no one's ever thinking about structuring your life and then your kids coming up in this world after that. Like, you know, you're not teaching them the fundamentals anymore. They're just rich. Like, you know what I mean? And I was trying to explain this to certain people that, especially between Canada and the U.S., a lot of kids these days who are rappers nowadays come from successful parents who are alumni, who are certain things like that. So it's easy for them to get into certain things in this world.
Well, people are stuck on being rich and they ain't understand being wealthy holds more power. you can go broke being rich.
Yep.
We just got through talking about if we knew then what we knew now, we would have had some nice pillows set in the backlash, but
Yep.
we blew it as quick as it came. Don't strive to be rich. Strive to be wealthy. Strive for ownership. Strive to have your name on something where that holds money value without money. That's what you got to actually get to. I remember, and it freaked me out because I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. But this guy came up to a register, had piles of shit, electronics, all this shit, sucked the lady hand and everything, and called for the manager, told him to call the manager. Manager came over, told him who he was, showed us some identification. Manager freaked out like he was fucking Michael Jackson. This man signed the back of a receipt, handed that to the manager, loaded up everything, and took it to the car. I was like, what the fuck was that? That you just signed your name? That's wealth. When your name holds value, when your present holds value, that's wealth.
Yep.
Strive for that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be striving for.
I was trying to teach that because like a lot of people in this game right now don't understand that owning what you have makes things better in your life. Like you see, having your own networks and things to play with, even being an ambassador for things, joining certain things, because Snoop Dogg and everybody and 50 and everybody got to where they are from doing things, and Nas and everybody from making certain investments. You know what I mean? And like over the years, somebody be like, yo, I got this company coming up. I want you to be the face. I'm going to give you this percentage, All you got to do is promote it. And, you know, and then that's certain things that people are not understanding right now that is happening in this world, that more people are getting approached to market and advertise things more on the value of what they could do with it, more than just that I want this just because I want a bag. You know what I mean? And like it's like, I just want to rock that clothing, so I'm going to wear Versace all day until Versace gives me clothing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just...
Now, I support my brothers and my family that's in whatever they do. So if they shoot me something and say, hey, man, promote this for me, you know, take a couple of pictures with it, pop up on a couple of shows with it, you know what I'm saying? That's love that I give. That's love that I give, because them making it is me making it. People really got to understand we work as a collective, because we understand that one is a representation of the other. You know what I'm saying? It's enough out here for everybody to get it. And you can get it quicker if you work as a collective than you can individually. But a lot of people actually in this for different reasons. You know, some people in it just for the fame. Some people in it for the clout. Some people in it so they can tell people that they in it. Mm-hmm. They're not in it for the whole objective to prosper, ownership, and to move forward with it. That's the difference. So it really all about where your heart's at when you doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's hip hop saved my life. This shit saved me. It pulled me from what I was doing. So I can't forsake it. It's just how I look at it. So my viewpoint upon what I do might be totally different from other people's viewpoint on what they do or what I do. You know what I'm saying? But I can't live for them. I got to live for me.
And that's why I'm glad that I get to play this song going towards the end of this interview called Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
What's the whole meaning around that?
Searching for paradise between a paradise.
I say this all the time, so why should it be different? Life's a gamble. If I'm with you, I'm with you.
Exit.
This is the paradise between a paradise. If I ride for you, I die for you. Shotgun buckle in the front seat. When trouble come, 10 toes deep. Expose the truth when the tongue speak. If I slide on them, Stacy app. Polish flows, flat feet. Toss the heat to the back seat for the forget-me-nots we don't speak about. Speaker mouth get drowned out. Keep it closed like shower doors. Stay on track with every track as the fact goes. Check off goals. Fact check, I bendo. Next crack, instrumental track. Get stack spots for the bando. With every line, As far as expansion goes, my trailer smoke did extend those. I go the distance and get expensive as the time goes. I see reflections in the corridor they would never show. They think they hot, but no they not, just nobody done told them so. Life's a gamble, worth the sacrifice on bending knee. Praying for paradise, with a paradise. Life's a gamble, worth the sacrifice on bending knee. Praying for paradise, with a paradise. And they can hide out in plain sight and you would never know. It's in the game, it's entertainment, the world's greatest show. I seen some light dim low, like a candle glow. But in the darkest of the night show, roll 3 or 4. Hit it. Things are getting better, exit in on that last letter. The one that said I never, and yes I stood on it. Stormy weather, whether they like me or not, can't change my view. That's true, can't change that. A bird eye view, on looking from the skybox. Y'all caught up in the blind spot, missing sure shots. I'm here for hip hop, roll can't stop. Life's a gamble, worth the sacrifice on bending knee. Praying for paradise, with a paradise. Life's a gamble, worth the sacrifice on bending knees. Praying for paradise, with a paradise.
That is definitely going into rotation. All 3 of these tracks, Paradise. Like when I heard that, I was just like, I like the way you brought that in, man. Because like the whole, like if you never played dice, you don't understand what life's a risk. You know what I mean?
100%.
If you never been in a real dice game or even seen a dice game like in New York or something, man, you ain't seen shit.
Yeah, for real, seriously, it's worse down here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can lose your life on a side bet down here. You know what I'm saying? For real. So it's a gamble, but everybody trying to hit that lick. Everybody want to actually be able to get enough to sit there and say, I'm good, I can live off this. So we maneuver through life in search for paradise.
Right.
And every day is a gamble. You never know how it's going to turn out. You might leave home in the morning with the intent, I'm going to work and come home. And ain't no telling what might happen on the journey back in. You never know.
I've told people that a lot of times in life because, like, live life like it's your last life because you never know when it's going to be.
100%.
And, you know, in this game, like, you know, if you don't take risks and you wouldn't be in these positions you are right now if you didn't take that risk, you know, and if you didn't come from a street life of risks, like this music game is just as worse than the streets. Like, you know, like people will take you out just because of your fame or, you know, like if you don't comply or even just like saying certain words and stuff, you know what I mean? And, you know, like David Chappelle made a good point the other day. He goes, you don't really know certain these rappers, like, you know, like what they really did and got away with. And then all of a sudden, you know, one word makes a big problem. And then you're just like, but he did something that was like, yo, like, but hey, money talks, bullshit walks. You know, that's how this game
Run
goes.
the marathon.
Because every single time I look at hip hop right now, it's just, how do you feel now, like over these decades, like watching it evolve to where it is now?
It's been a grand change, bro. That's all I can say. I try not to be so judgmental because everything evolves. Hip hop music actually evolved from what James Brown and Chuck Berry was doing anyway. And I heard some cats from I think it was like the 1930s. These niggas was rapping. I don't care what nobody was saying. They was rapping. So hip hop and rap been around, but it constantly have evolved. Like if you think and let's go back to the Treacherous 3. Okay. And then let's come up from that to where we done got to KRS-One. Now let's come up from that to where we done got to Rakim, where lyrics are making you think and are a little bit more complicated. Then come on up to where you got Big Daddy Kane and Kool G Rap spitting bars and lyrics. So it's like we watched it evolve to so much. Now I don't agree with what it then evolved into, but that's something I can't control. Right. Time, you have to evolve. Like I say, you have to. Now, that's why you hear me tamper with certain things on certain songs. Like I said, Bad Company, I was kind of like upset by the whole evolution of things. So that's where Bad Company came from. That's what that was birthed from. So, but I had to really understand that, like I said, if they got an audience, it's going to be here to the audience league. But what I can tell you is we caught up now in such real times to where that clubbing factor ain't what it used to be. Yep. So more people are seeking, I want to know what's going on than anything. Like, somebody give me some truth. You know what I'm saying? You know, everything they fact check is with a lie. So I need some truth. I need to know some truth because too much is going on. And people can't tell me they don't see this shit. They cannot tell me that when you go out to fucking Wally World, Walmart or whatever, you don't see this shit. When you go out in traffic, you don't see this shit. When you talk to people on the phone, you don't see this shit. You're not telling me you don't see this shit. So it's other shit that people really need to be paying more attention to. That's just how I look at it. And I think that is really going to make rap evolve a little. I'm sitting there listening to songs by both of the babies, Da Baby and Lit Baby. You know, I thought they were one person at one time, but you know what I'm saying? They both have songs that they dropping now that it's about thinking. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, because, you know, I can't do the shit they do. The rapping pattern is different. Like when we used to go to the lab, it was about the flow. You know what I'm saying? You started here, you run that shit till it's finished. I mean, that's fucking it. You fuck up, you start over, and you run that shit till it finished. It ain't like that no more. See, now when they record this bracket, it's like, when we're gonna rock in the mall, some in the fall and kicking them out in the stall. Then they go and fill in those empty spaces, and it sounds like shit don't have no breath. Right. See, I done went in with some of my young partners around here because I try to be a mentor just as well. If they need me for something, I'm there. So I done watched their pattern of recording, and I'm like, so goddamn different than what we do. So different. It's hard for me to even do what y'all do because once you stop and start, the texture of your voice change. Yeah. But they have a way of doing that to where it doesn't change. It's like they on that same energy every time they stop and start.
See, there's certain rappers that can do that. There's certain rappers that try to do that because I see kids who write these days, and then I sit there in the studio. I'm just like, okay, if you're gonna rap on this pattern of a beat, the way you got that rhyme written ain't gonna flow like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to chop it down. Like, I turned guys and said, there, go take that 16 and turn it to an 8 if you're gonna do a trap song. You know?
Yeah, literally. You don't need that many words. Right. You can actually space it out if you want to.
And that's the thing in the game, right? Because a lot of people spend too much time trying to focus on bars these days for these trap tracks. And I'm like, if it ain't a bars track, don't do that. You know what I mean? If you want to be something on bars, then go do that. But then a lot of these kids think they got to be on these, they got to put these type of songs out.
And I have to say this, by actually having music all over the place. Yeah. I can sit there and tell you the whole world ain't up on trap.
I know that.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to find your market and work your market. But don't try to stand in somebody else's market. I'm not finna, although I know about the lifestyle, but because that's not what I'm trying to project forward, I don't want to get into none of that. So my market and the people that I actually make music for might not be the people that listen to your music. See, you might have a whole different crowd. I'm good with that. We're dealing with a globe. I'm not trying to, I be seeing these cats fighting over cities and dying over this shit. Like, dude, gives a fuck about being king of a city. Come on now.
That's the game now, man.
Man, it's a whole world to conquer. That's a very naive game, man. It's like, no, It's a whole world to conquer. I'm on my picky in the brain shit. You know what I'm saying? I want the world.
Yo, you see, I had to talk with somebody about this the other day. I go, why would you want to be a fish in a small pond? When,
I'm a well in a lake.
Because there's so much more to explore and more to do if you could just go out there and do what you got to do and devour it all. Like, enjoy it. Like, the world is there for you to.
Lake. My music range is a music range. I love music. I don't give a fuck if fucking Lincoln Park call up and say, hey, we want you on a song. I know what to do. See, I love music. I'm not finna be put within, well, you just gonna have to do this. No, dude, I got country songs where I'm rapping on it. You know what I'm saying? I love fucking Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. I mean, I love music. If it sounds good to me, it's good music.
And I appreciate that. And, like, is there any people you want to shout out?
The family, man. First of all, Triple P Radio, I have to. I thank Sarah so much for everything she do. She is an amazing woman on everything. Because I know time is probably wrapping up, I'm just going to shout out the whole family and the whole team. I swear to God, there's too many names to mention. So I'm going to try to break them down in sets to everybody within the Four Horsemen. My committee 601, 504 Mob, XFX League, UGS for Life, Power to the Collective, all my brothers far and near, y'all know who you are. Dirty Ray in Japan, Chuck Massacre. Let's get it. Let's keep this thing moving, man. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for having me up in Canada. That's fucking great. I appreciate the love, man, and everything. Real talk. So
now in the next, where can people find you doing any shows in the next minute? Like, you got anything coming up?
Well, we have the first installment for the Four Horsemen Project coming out at the end of this month. Yes, you know what I'm saying? And we have a line of appeal that should be dropping sometime tomorrow on the 7th for the Four Horsemen. So it's like that's the focus right now. We have a couple of negotiational talks about Four Horsemen performances now. But like I say, this is not going to be like anything else. So therefore, if it's not a cheap route, because we got people coming from 4 different directions to actually come together. So, but we not going to be just standing on stage, a bunch of niggas rapping. We literally have a presentation when we present. So yeah, we negotiated now a few shows. I'm looking at with this Horseman Project, a good many of them coming up because like I say, we on the now. Everything that we speaking about, it's the now. It's what you actually see it now. It's like the now. You know, people ain't talking about it, but it's affecting everybody. We talking about it.
And that's what I like about it, because if you don't speak about it, how you gonna know about it?
Education is through conversation. You have to talk about it to be educated about it. If not, you left forced to take what they give you. So that's how they can misguide you and misdirect you with misinformation, because you don't want to conversate to find out, how do you feel about that?
You know what? I got to end it on that note, because you just said it all. Like, hold on.
You know, we got the fire. Follow the world best DJ Disspare on Twitter, Facebook, and